Welcome back to Wake Up America Weekend. I'm Tom Basile. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki provided us with another nugget when she took to the White House podium to say President Biden supports Virginia's gubernatorial candidate Terry McAuliffe in today's Psaki Bomb.
Well, I have to be a little careful about how much political analysis I do from here and not traipse into that too much. Look, I think the president, of course, wants former Governor McAuliffe to be the future governor of Virginia. There is alignment on a lot of their agenda. Again, we're going to do everything we can to help former Governor McAuliffe, and we believe in the agenda he's representing.
Yeah, I don't know, guys, if that is a violation of the Hatch Act or not, but it just definitely does show everybody in Virginia that Terry McAuliffe is going to be very much in line with a left-wing radical socialist agenda. So I want to bring you guys back in. Constitutional and civil rights attorney Amir Benno and National Advisory Board member for Project 21, Christopher Arps. Thanks again. All right, folks, where in the world is Pete Buttigieg? Where has he been? Supply chain troubles getting worse. The holiday shopping season so critical to business right now in jeopardy. Shipping industry and ports in a chokehold trying to get inventory into the United States and onto the store shelves. All this, and the transportation secretary has apparently been MIA. And to be fair, he's been on he's been on leave for the birth of his twins for several weeks now. But Allison, as we've been saying here on the show this morning, many on social media have been were wondering before if he was qualified for the job. Now he just kind of takes off in the middle of a crisis.
Yeah, well, look, when you take this job as a cabinet member, this is a 24/7 job.
That's
this
right.
is something that you can't, really take a vacation from. And then you have this crisis on top of it. And the media wasn't even reporting where he was. This came out on social media when we have politicians and people wondering where he was. And he really hasn't stepped up to do the job. So this question remains: Is he prepared to handle it? We've got this major crisis. Again, it's just another crisis with the administration that they seem to bury their head in the sands and hope it will go away.
I mean, I served in a presidential administration. You didn't take off. You didn't go away. You didn't disappear for a month or 2 months, especially if there was a crisis. If you were away, you came back. You came back to work. Amir, does this reinforce the notion that the administration hasn't been managing this crisis at all?
Well, they haven't been managing it at all. And it totally reinforces it. I mean, as I said before in the earlier hour, many different members of the cabinet have been MIA, whether it's Secretary Blinken during Afghanistan, or whether it's the vice president on the border, or whether it's Pete Buttigieg when dealing with the supply chain shortages. But the other thing that's important to keep in mind is, just opening up these ports, making them 24/7 won't solve the problem. There's other problems that come top down that are contributing to this supply chain problem. Namely, I would say the vaccine mandate is causing a lot of unions, a lot of people who are subject to collective bargaining agreements to leave their workplace. They're essentially overriding their collective bargaining agreements. I've got an article on this up at the Newsmax website. But this is creating a shortage of truckers, of longshoremen, of rail workers, and on a more local level, security issues, police forces are mandating this. So we're seeing this affect people across the board. So I can't just lay it at Pete Buttigieg's feet. It does ultimately come down to Joe Biden's policies.
I want to move to the president addressing the supply chain issue earlier this week, announcing his supposed solution for ports, saying that they're going to be open 24/7 to get things moving along. Take a listen.
It's going to take a little time, and that we've unlocked the full might and dynamism of our economy and our people. That's what we're going to do. God bless you all, and may God bless the longshoremen, rail workers, truckers, and all the workers who are keeping our economy going. May God protect our troops. Thank you all so very much.
And there he goes, not answering any questions again. Chris, my issue here, there are so many unanswered questions, and reporters were ready to ask them, but he continues to walk away. He's appointing the supply chain czar. He's extending the hours of the operations. Amir says this isn't going to work to get stuff in the stores for Christmas. What do you think?
I think it will help in the short term. I don't know if it will be enough for Christmas time, but you know what's happening with this labor shortage is the shortage of workers is creating more workers. You know, we think that a lot of people are quitting their jobs because of welfare programs and they'll be able to be paid by staying home. But what we're learning is a lot of people are quitting their jobs is because they're just being overworked. Kellogg's employees, some of them have worked 100 days straight without a day off. And so you may have the same situation with the docks where you're working 24/7, but you're working these people so long and so hard that they may end up quitting and maybe exacerbate the worker shortage in the long run.
You know, we're hearing that if a ship leaves Asia today, it's not going to get here and be unloaded for the holidays. I think that's incredibly troubling for this country. Amir, I'm not sure that this is really going to solve the problem, as you say. But really, what can we do at this point?
Well, I do think that we need to ease some of the regulations. And when I'm talking about regulations, it's not necessarily worker safety regulations, which limits the number of hours, say, that truckers can work in a particular day. But how about some of these environmental regulations? For instance, in California, they have these green regulations that say that if you have a truck that's older than whether it's 5 or 10 years, you can't be on the road. You can't be carrying freight. That takes perfectly operational vehicles out of the fleet.
That's true.
Which depletes the ability to make deliveries, and which contributes and exacerbates the supply issue. It's these kind of policies that are hurting us.
There are a lot of little things that add up to that could actually mean a lot instead of these big pronouncements. All right, I want to thank our powerhouse panel for the day. Great stuff as always.